In the opening cutscene of Hollow Knight, we see the knight re-entering Hallownest where they were previously outside of it. But what made them leave in the first place? And what made them come back? The first part of this question is something that Team Cherry have admitted to not knowing themselves, but I have a few speculations of my own that I wanted to share. So, assuming that the knight didn't go straight from the abyss out into the wilds beyond the Howling Cliffs, they were within Hallownest at some point. As for what made them want to leave, I have two theories. The first is that the knight realized that there were dangerous, infected creatures all around and naturally sought a way to get away from them, continuing on until they were outside the perimeter of the kingdom and the danger was gone. The second is a little more complicated. I think it probably had to do with the fact that bugs who leave Hallownest lose their memories. According to my theory, the knight knew about this somehow, possibly hearing it from another bug, and wanted to lose their memories on purpose. Why? I'm thinking that the knight wanted specifically to forget what happened to them in the abyss, what we see in the birthplace memory, their own father and sibling willingly leaving them to die. If that was the case, I certainly wouldn't blame them. Additionally, we know that Hallownest can be exited through the Howling Cliffs, and that this area has a connection to Greenpath. There is a corpse of a vessel in Greenpath, the one that the knight takes the Mothwing cloak from. It's possible that this vessel had the same intentions as the knight, but never made it out to the Howling Cliffs alive. As for what called the knight back into Hallownest, we actually do have some clues for that. When the knight encounters the three dreamers for the second time in the resting grounds, one of them muses about what could have possibly compelled its return. They question whether a call went out to the knight from either the vessel, that being the Hollow Knight, or the captive light, that being the Radiance. This would make sense, as we see something happening in the opening cutscene right before we see the knight return that suggests this. Both of these possibilities have some reasoning behind them. The Hollow Knight could have called out to their kin, if any were still out there, to help relieve them of their burden of sealing the Radiance and keeping the infection at bay, since it was clear that they could no longer do it themselves. They probably wanted this new vessel to become the new one to act as a seal, like in the Hollow Knight and Sealed Siblings endings, or maybe they even believed that another vessel could defeat the Radiance, like in the Dream No More ending. I see this as more plausible than the Radiance sending out the call, but there could be some reason for her to do so too. The Radiance knew at this point that she was close to breaking out of her constraints within the Hollow Knight. She could have wanted a creature to complete the job. She probably knew that another vessel would want to either reseal her or defeat her entirely, and she probably thought that without the proper training that the Hollow Knight alone had, they would ultimately not be successful. The other vessel could break the Dreamer's seals, making it easier for the infection to spread, and then with her power over the Hollow Knight, she could influence them to kill any vessel that would try to usurp them. The White Lady even hints at this in her dialogue. Therefore, with the seals gone and no other vessels left, the Radiance could escape from her confinement and be free. So to recap, the knight likely left Hallownest either to get away from the danger of the infection or to lose their traumatic memories, possibly both, and they were probably called back either by the Hollow Knight seeking help or the Radiance looking for someone to aid her escape. Do you have any other theories for either of these things? If so, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching this video. Please give it a like and subscribe to my channel for more videos about Hollow Knight and other games. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.